This is part 2 of the behind the scene of my short movie A Tube Story, so make sure you've seen part 1 before. Once you're happy with your animatic, you can start shooting, and that's when things starts to be painful. Everything before that was just fun and glitter, so no more sugarcoating. I'm not gonna lie, stop motion is very tedious. It just takes hours. My movie is 4 minutes long and it took me 7 months.
7 months.
It was 2 months full-time, then I found a job and 5 months part-time, but still. So the first thing you need is patience. Then you will need a dedicated software to visualize what you're doing and organize your shoots. Keep in mind that you don't have to shoot things in chronological order. You can start with the easiest shot first, and once you feel more confident, you can shoot the more complex ones. I personally used Dragon Frame, which is a professional tool and has a lot of tools to help you and save time. I'm not gonna go into too many details here, but I highly recommend it if you can get your hands on it. But you could also use a free software. I know there are plenty and they are probably pretty good as well. Now some tips before you start. Be extra careful when shooting. Paste or attach everything related to the shooting. The tripod, the puppets, the lights, the props, everything must be securely attached. Because the last thing you want is to bump into something and have to start all over again. Trust me, it happened to me many times, and that's the kind of thing that could kill your motivation to finish the movie. So make sure you have enough sticky tack, this blue or white putty thing that can glue everything together. It's a must-have. Next, set your camera to fully manual, especially the white balance, to keep the lighting and colors consistent over the shooting. Also get LED lights to avoid flickers on the pictures, because they will ruin your shots and are almost impossible to remove afterward. Now regarding the mouse animation, you have to plan them ahead. Dragon Frame has a dedicated tab just for that, where you can import your own PSD file with all your mouse and your audio clips just to make the dialogue animation. And keep in mind that if you want to have a nice cartoony effect, don't change mouse every frame, it will look bad. Change them when you have a new syllable or change between a consonant and a vowel. It's hard to explain and it will actually take lots of trial and error before you get it right.
My time has come! I knew it! I'm empty! No.
So here was my setup with a nice box just for the mouses and eye. I put paper on the mirror to avoid reflections. Everything was pretty clunky and cheap. I wish I had better equipment, but this was a low budget production, as you can tell. Here you can see me using the rice cooker and a wire to hold the puppet in the air. Short disclaimer, the most literally painful shots I made were those with my hand appearing on screen. Because you have to hold your hand in the air for 10 to 15 minutes without moving and trying to keep the spacing between frames equal to have a smooth animation and not a wiggly movement. It was really hard, so try not to have human hands in your movie. It will save you lots of painful moments, believe me. Here is the shot where I needed a green screen or a blue screen. I tried both, but as the character is green and blue, it just didn't work. So I used an orange screen, but my hand is orange-ish, so it didn't work either. I actually ended up using a purple screen. Shooting in your bathroom is pretty complicated, because soon enough you're gonna have to use it to do something else, like brushing your teeth with a member of the cast, or taking a shower with another one. And here is the gang, a very quiet crew, ready to shoot. With all the footage done and before editing, it's time to have lots of fun and clean all frames one by one to remove the things that should not be there, like wires, rigs, or in my case, mostly sticky tack. So I spent literally hours on Photoshop painting over all the visible pieces of sticky tack, and that was boring. But you have to do it, because no one else will. The editing process was pretty straightforward, but some shots required a bit of special effects. This one with the purple screen that needed frame-by-frame masking, so I could overlay the puppets and animate it separately from the background. Then this one is actually two separate shots. I did the scissors part on one and the face animation on another one that I later combined. Pretty cheap once you know it, but it does the job. And then, the biggest lie of all, the undying soap animation was also done separately. First, I took one picture for every mouse shape I needed, and then I animated the arm and the leg doing random moves for about 20 seconds. Later on, in Photoshop, I cut all the mouse on the first few pictures and manually copy-paste them on the rest of the animation. I did the same on this shot and for the blink. If you look closely, you can see kind of a round shape around the mouse right here. I hope I was clear, but anyway, this tip saved me days of work, if not weeks, because the proper way to do it would have been to animate the arm, the leg, and resculpting the mouse every frame for a 50-second monologue. All at the same time, so hell no. You know, sometimes you have to be lazy, aka smart, to move forward, so do not hesitate to take shortcuts like this when you can. And last but not least, the sound effects. I recorded sounds for basically everything in the movie, mostly using the same objects and reacting the movie. And that was pretty straightforward. If you can, try not to do it in your kitchen. It will sound pretty bad. In the end, it was incredibly rewarding to see the movie come together shot by shot, and that's it! Finally, after 7 months, my movie was done. It took me so much effort to get there. Now the only thing I want is everyone to see it. I want to have feedbacks, opinions, thoughts, comments. So I uploaded it on YouTube, sent it to all my friends, my family, on Reddit, Facebook groups and more, and nothing. I mean, I did get a couple hundred views after a few weeks, and that's all. I honestly was expecting 10,000 views pretty quickly. I thought people would like it and share it much more, but I was wrong. Now, if you're like me and passionate about creating things, drawing, painting, making movies, making games, art, music, or whatever, let's face it, chances are that deep inside we are seeking for people's approval. And I know that even when I was a kid, drawing or making this kind of short movies, the thing I liked the most was when my classmates or my parents were amazed by my work. And they told me that it was great and I was talented. And I did get this kind of feedbacks. Actually, everyone I know who watched the movie told me it was great. But I guess I was expecting more feedbacks coming from strangers, thanks to internet. So I'm not gonna lie, it's been pretty disappointing. Even now, after 2 years, the movie barely reached 1,000 views on YouTube. But, I mean, what can I do? That's not a big deal in the end. That was my first movie and there are more important things in life. I can focus on other projects now. But anyway, I know that if you're still here, you want to know how I did get a bit of success and screen the movie in several theaters. So no more suspense. I just got selected in movie festivals. That's it. So by chance, I heard about this festival in my city called Festival du Film de l'Est, which is a festival for amateurs movie made in the east side of France. And the submission was online on a website called Film Freeway. And that's the secret, my friends. Not only I got selected by this festival, but I also sent my movie to dozens of other festivals around the world. On this website you can find festivals about pretty much anything. So your movie won't be eligible to every festival, but you can try to send it and they will tell you if it doesn't match their criteria. Some festivals are free, others have a fee, so it depends on you if you have the budget for these. I did spend a few euros on festivals where I thought my movie could be selected, but I mostly sent it to free festivals. And that's how it got selected and screened in Strasbourg, also in another city nearby where it was selected for the Alsace Comedy Festival, then in the Cinemotion Festival where it was screened in Nantes, another big city in France, and then in the International Animation Festival Ajayú in Peru, sorry for the mispronunciation, but also in Nunavut's International Film Festival in Canada, and more recently in England with the Liftoff Global Network Festival. And fun fact, the movie was actually profitable. My budget was around 50 euros including the festival fees, and the Nunavut Festival from Canada paid me 150 Canadian dollars to screen the movie, which was around 100 euros, so I did make a 15 euros profit. And that's not much for 7 months of work. But thanks, Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Obviously, I could not go in person to all festivals because I'm not gonna take the plane for a 4-minute projection, but the 2 projections I was able to go were amazing. I mean, the feeling of being in a theaters full of people laughing watching your movie, it was just priceless.
Mesdames et messieurs, je vous demande d'accueillir Alexis Sabdejan pour A Tube Story.
I had 1 minute to pitch the movie on stage in front of everyone before it started. It was pretty stressful, but I managed to do something funny.
Always the first ones to leave. And I heard that job ain't pretty.
Oh yeah, even mine is a piece of cake compared to theirs.
Oh, somebody's coming.
I hope this behind the scene was interesting and it has inspired you to make your own movie or start a new project. For me, making this movie was a great adventure and a way to stay sane and productive in a time of crisis during COVID. If I had to change something, I wish I had more equipment, a better camera, better lights, better knowledge about sound recording, because overall I think the movie looks and sounds pretty bad. Now I know I was alone and it was a first for me, but I knew that even before starting the project. I knew my skills were limited, both technically and in terms of animation. So instead of trying to make a perfect and beautiful animation, I deliberately focused on the story and the characters. And I think that's the strength of the movie. Because you will never have an unlimited budget and a team of dedicated technicians to make a perfect looking movie. And that's okay, but there is no excuse for not making a good story, because all it takes is a pen and a piece of paper. So grab your pen and make something. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video if you did and subscribe because I have other projects coming soon. Cheers!